Okay, guys, welcome to day 2 of my week. I am going to get right into this because I have so much to fit in in this short time. So I want to try to make this as efficient as possible. But sorry if you clicked the first link and then I had to recreate one. My bad. I'm still learning how to use this software. Okay, so today I want to talk to you about becoming an empowered leader and creating empowered leaders. I feel like this is something that I excel at when I try to think about the things that I feel like I do pretty well. Something I'm really passionate about is creating leaders who are empowered themselves, that I don't have to inflate, that they are confident in themselves. Because I wasn't a leader type before I got started coaching. Like, I was the follower. I was always somebody who tried to do well in any situation, but it was like to please somebody, like a teacher, a parent, an authority figure. I am a kind of person who, if you told me to do something, I'll do it just to make you happy, right? Never for my own benefit, just to like, whatever, for, mama to be proud. And I truly believe that's why I ended up enrolling under a coach who wasn't really running a business. Like, I feel like, thank God that I didn't enroll on a team that was already kicking butt and had a whole lot of resources, but I do not think I'd be as successful as I am now. I'm definitely more the wallflower, standing at the limelight and just, whatever, support the person, the rock star. And so this opportunity has done so much to help me to feel empowered. And because of what it's done for me personally, I want to create that same confidence in others. And that has been so much of my journey. And I want to talk to you about some of the ways that I do that. It's hard to outline these things because it's not like there's a real to-do list for this. Honestly, there's not like a real action steps, and it comes a little bit more conceptually. But I do think I have some applications, some tactical applications that will help you. So I have about 5 different points that I want to touch on. So I hope you have some notes. My screen, oh, hang on, make sure my computer's charging because I'm going to get going and not pay attention. Okay, so I have about 5 different things that I want you to focus on here. The first one is being a self-starter and like leading yourself. Like I mentioned, I don't believe that I would have had the success I had if I had enrolled into a team that was already really active. My coach was a retailer of Shakeology out of her gym. She's a master trainer, so she doesn't lead a team. She doesn't know how to coach. She could tell me a little bit about the back office because she would like sell Shakeology to people, but she didn't know anything about training or any like Success Club points, whatever. She is 3 levels down from Christine Dwyer, who I had actually met at a training. I had gotten trained by Christine Dwyer, but I didn't know really about coaching at that point. And I remember kicking myself for months after I decided to start working, like, oh my gosh, why didn't I sign up under Christine Dwyer? Like, freaking rock star. She knows everything. She's got the biggest downline. She's, incredible. And I kicked myself for months. Like, how did I make should I cancel and resign? It was the best thing that ever happened to me, because I had to learn to be a leader, and I had to learn to be a self-starter, and I had to use systems and resources without my coach telling you what to do. So you guys, I feel, are, I should say, at an advantage because of all the resources you have available to you as part of really great organizations. But I promise you, it is the biggest crippling thing in your way too. And I want you to recognize that. I want you to recognize how crippling it is too, because you have the ability to not do anything and wait till you're ready, because everything is right there for you. Do you think any of the coaches who are leading this, they got to Diamond through a push group? Unlikely. There was another reason that they got there. They were self-starters. They led themselves. So that's not to shame you for needing or using a push group. I mean, I certainly would say welcome every opportunity, welcome all the gifts of being a part of an amazing organization. Take those and absolutely use those resources. Don't reinvent the wheel, but also don't wait for permission to be successful. Just because your coach said diamond's the goal or emerald's the goal, or if this date is the best time, that doesn't mean that is the end all be all. This is your business, and I want you to think about it in terms of what would I do if I was and I had enrolled without a team that knew what to do. What would you do if you didn't know what to do? Because I didn't have that, I dug up every YouTube video that I could think of. I was desperately clamoring for anything to observe, but you know you have a whole team call library somewhere. You know you have a whole file section. You know you have all these things at your fingertips, so you can pretty much just decide when you're ready. You know what I mean? And so what that means is you push it off. But when that's nowhere to be found, when you have to go seek it and search it out, you elevate your motivation to a level that is extraordinary. And so I want you to just reframe your mindset and think about, what if I didn't have that? What would I do? You would work at a much different speed and a much different intensity, and you would not follow systems blindly. You would think through it. I think some of the most crippling things that I've done is create systems for my team. I'm going to share with you this week something I'm really strong at, and that is free groups. Free groups are my jam. Like, I do those really well. I convert really well. I have a lot of weaknesses in this business, a lot. But I own my strengths, and one of those free groups. And so I'm not good at creating systems, but I've created a great system around free groups. The problem is handing over that free group system. So many people just follow it blindly without context for what they can bring to the table. And they aren't really thinking through the accountability piece. They aren't really thinking through what they're providing people. They're thinking, oh, this system is successful, not I'm the value. They think, oh, Megan's so good at this, so this is going to work for me. If it doesn't work for me, then I'm the problem, rather than really bringing their value to the table. So I know this sounds like common sense to be a self-starter, but honestly, you're crippled in the organization that you're in because everything is there for you. So that's number one, is think about what you would do if that thing wasn't there for you. Don't wait for that push group. Don't wait for that next training. Don't wait for your new coach to get started in your uplines. I'm not saying don't use those systems. You absolutely need to, and not spend time reinventing things, but it's really critical that you aren't slowing down your success because you think that someone needs to tell you the next steps and hold your hand through it. That is how you will become an empowered leader, and also duplicate that to your coaches. Number two is to filter the decisions that you make in your business, not through so much what's going to get me to rank, Success Club. I mean, those are important. But I want you to filter the decisions that you make in leading your team through the kind of leader and the kind of that you want to be, and the kind of leaders that you want to create, the kind of people that you want to create in your team. So what I mean by this is, be very careful about holding hands with your challengers and your coaches. Be very careful about spoon feeding. Be very careful about creating confidence in your team by, if you've got Success Club down, you figured out how to retail, and you've got your business taken care of, and now the next thing you want to do is you want to help them get there. I want you to be really careful about directing them, because you don't want to cripple them from thinking that they're capable of this. So if a coach comes to me and I know that I provided them resources in their new coach training, and they ask me a simple answer that I know I can ask, I don't want to be their hero. I want them to be their hero. So I'm filtered, even though my goal is, I kind of need you to hit Success Club. I kind of need you to rank advance. That might be something that I'm motivated by. What I'm more motivated by, and what I need to filter my decisions through, is what do I want to create in my organization? Not me being a hero or a rock star, but me helping them to realize they're a rock star. So what is your mission as a coach? Is it just to be a rock star? Is it to be a diamond? Is it to be a rock star retailer? Is it just to have have recognition? And listen, guys, you can have whatever motivation. I'm going to talk to, but I've told you guys what I'm about. I'm that pearl, warm, fuzzy, girl. And so that's kind of who I'm speaking to a little bit. Because I feel like a lot of you feel you're underrepresented. I don't know. I don't think that's true. I think there's lots of people like us out there, but I got so many comments, from my kickoff call that I want to speak to you. If you want to, obviously it's good to want to have rank advancements. One, I do. I had a big superstar goal and I worked my tail off for it. But ultimately I want my team to be empowered and feel confident. So I'm not going to hold their hands to diamond. I'm not going to hold their hands to Success Club. I want to and this is going to be a slower growth sometimes, but I want them to feel confident that they're doing this for them. And even if that's a slower build for me, that is more important, because what happens when they get there and they crumble because they don't feel confident and capable and independent of me. So I want you to be careful, like, now on this side of it, before, you know, you have that happen to you. Maybe some of you experienced it, like you've held a hand to, you know, you've held hands to get to Success Club, and all of a sudden, like, they struggle after month 4, and then they can't hit it, and then you feel like frustrated because you can't help them. But ultimately, maybe you've not helped them create the confidence in themselves by filtering the decisions that you're making through supporting them through the lens of what am I trying to create in this person. Okay, I have notes and making sure I'm not going to forget them, so pardon me while I pause. So just being sure that you're pointing people to the tools rather than handing those tools over. That's why I think it's great to have looser systems like I do. I know a lot of coaches have really great systems that are so outlined, similar to my free group system. And I've kicked myself for years for not being able to provide that to my team, because it's just not something I'm strong at creating, like, you know, color by number systems. But honestly, I've created loose enough systems that the people who are going to do this, and they impose their own self into it enough that they feel confident. And I don't have lots of crumbling. I don't have a crumbling organization. They are very confident and empowered with having a little bit of a looser system. And there are times to spoon feed more. Honestly, in the beginning of the business, you obviously do need to, you know, handhold, and absolutely, there's a time and a place, but ultimately you want people to become the heroes of their own story. Giving them space to lead and feel the pain, not being all up in your back office, and when they're about to rank drop, let them feel that pain. Let them feel the pain of rank dropping so that they don't want to feel that again. But when we are constantly like saying, hey, you kind of need this to get there all the time, and then they're going to, that's what you've created for them, is this system where they just rely on you to move them forward. Okay, number 3 is to focus on the process and not the outcome, but you need to use metrics. And I'm going to talk to my pearlies here. I'm going to talk to those warm fuzzies here a little bit more. I kind of alluded to this yesterday. You know, oh my gosh, I'm just helping people. Yeah, so I get so annoyed with it now, and because I think it's such a cop-out. So yes, define what success looks like for you. In Success Club and Rank, they don't have to be success for you, but you have to create accountability for yourself to do what you said you came to do. You said you came to help people. Well, what is realistic for you? Do you want to help the minimum, or do you want to help the maximum? So you absolutely need to have, sorry, I'm going to see these comments come up, but I know that I'm not able to go back and forth without getting too distracted. So I will answer them, I promise, after the video. Sorry, see, I'm already off track in my head. You absolutely do need numbers, ranks, metrics to hold you accountable to being the best version of yourself. For me, what that means to focus on the process and not the outcome is diamond, this star diamond, these things don't make me successful, but it's the person that I become on the way to get there that makes me successful. And that's what I mean by focusing on the process. So if you do not give yourself some huge targets that are, out, you know, kind of feel out of your reach, like for the month of April, I'm just going to say it, like I'm going to try to double my numbers, because why shouldn't I? This deal is out of control. Like we all should, not because we need higher numbers, not because we, you know, need this or that. I mean, you might need that, go for it. But for me, it's because, okay, I don't necessarily need, like, it's not to make more money. It's not to have more success. It's because, oh my gosh, like, this is such an incredible opportunity to get these programs and Shakeology into more hands, and an opportunity for me to grow personally and reaching out to more. So why not? Like, that's the way that I look at it. And that's why I want you warm fuzzies who are copping out with, oh, I just want to help people. Well, help more people by giving yourself some huge targets that stretch you and that make you a better version of yourself, so that you can be a better version to help more people. Think about who you're using too for inspiration on this. You know, you have these top coaches to look to. I remember when I came in, like Janelle Summers was the girl that I was just like, oh, like she was so inspiring to me. She was the shyer girl, seemingly, you know. But as a newer coach, like, me trying to emulate a superstar is insane. It's stupid. So I want you to definitely look to these top coaches, people here like leading this group, as inspiration. But the most effective thing for me in focusing on the process and not the outcome, because from new coach to superstars was so like daunting and scary, and that just sounds outrageous, and I never thought I would get there. I focused on looking at the people who were 6 months ahead of where I was at that time. So when I wanted to be diamond, I was emulating diamonds, those that I identify with. It made me move so much faster through the business by focusing on what I wanted to be in 6 months. The kind of, how would that diamond coach post? How would that 2-star diamond post? How would that, how would she posture herself? How would she, what kind of confidence does she, what does her social media look like? Because let's be real, you can't come in and post like, if you came in and try to post like, say, I post as a new coach, it's just not going to make sense, right? I've now established a certain level of credibility that it makes sense when I post a certain way. As when I was a new coach, that wouldn't have made any sense, and it would have been strange. So have those, these big, hairy, scary goals, and use these amazing coaches for inspiration. Amy Silverman, like taking her, family to Puerto Rico. That's so inspiring. That just shows us so much is possible. But definitely think a little bit more in those baby steps to get there. Thinking, so I would find people that were just a little bit ahead of me, and I would focus there. And then I moved so fast focusing that way. So I want you to think about that process, and that is so much more inspiring and makes you move so much faster along that continuum. Okay. Let me get my notes. So I'm trying to get this out fast because I am so sensitive to the fact that there's so many videos. But again, I just want to, on this point, to my fellow pearls and warm fuzzies, your goal should be growth, like personal growth. If you want to help people, if you truly say you're super altruistic and you just want to use this opportunity to help as many lives as possible, then your main goal should be personal growth. I just shared this in my personal sponsored coach page today. One of the best things that coaching has brought to me is that, like, I know that my team can only grow as much as I'm growing personally. And anytime that I have like an issue in my head, or I'm frustrated, or I want to whine and complain and feel sorry for myself about something, I'm feeling lazy, not doing my workout, whenever I'm having in my own head and having my own stuff, the best thing that coaching has brought to me is, what would I tell my coach if they were complaining to me like this? What would I say to them if they were venting to me? How would I coach them and inspire them? How would I help them? And so I'm able to hold an accountability to myself that I wasn't prior. And so I realize that, wow, how can I ask someone else to do something I'm not willing to do? And so every time I'm in my own head or having an issue or being lazy or lacking time management, I think, how would I coach that coach? And that ultimately transforms my mindset, because there's no way that I can expect to inspire others if I am not in a constant work in progress and working on myself. It's why I invest in, therapy. It's why I invest, money, a lot of money in getting a, John Maxwell coach or a Tony Robbins coach, just because it's the law of the lid. My team, the people that I'm trying to influence, can only be as inspired as my personal growth. And so that is what I'm motivated by to move forward. And it's not just, oh, the numbers are important. They are important. I'm sorry, they are, pearls. The numbers are important because they are what holds you accountable to being exactly what you say you claim to want to be. Sorry, getting a little harsh, getting a little excited, but I'm really passionate about that when it comes to helping people who say they're just, all about the heart, but they use that as an excuse to not be the best version of themselves. Okay, so number 4, back at you, girls. With the pearl, well, there's guy pearls too. Stop relying on your feelings. They're great, and they make you the most compassionate, loving person and like an awesome coach, but they also keep you from doing stuff, because if you do this business only when you feel like it, you pretty much don't have a business, because whether or not you like it, you're a CEO. You didn't go drop 6 figures into, a brick and mortar that you had to get a loan for, but you should treat it that way. You should. Just like that brick and mortar owner that dropped that cash, they don't make any income for like a long time because they're sitting in debt. You make it so much faster, but you don't treat your business in the same way. I mean, he's not motivated by the immediate transactions. He's not motivated by, just like the farmer, he's not motivated by what happens right away. He's motivated by the dream, by the hope to come. And so he gets up out of bed, whether he likes it or not, and treats his, farm like it is going to give him fruit right away. And the worst thing you can do is be a fair weather coach, because you instantly lack credibility. You instantly lack credibility when you start doing this when you're only feeling like it. You know, it's like, that's like the worst thing that could ever happen. I was like, okay, it's okay if you want to pause your business right now, but if you stop showing up as a person who cares about people on social media, then you've lost any kind of respect for anybody. It's like, oh, she's only going to show up when there's going to be some kind of immediate return on her investment. Yeah, they're going to move on to the next person who actually legitimately cares whether you purchase from them or not. They're just providing value. So stop relying on your feelings. It's selfish, and it's not the helpful, loving person that you think you want to be. It's actually selfish when you do this business when it feels good. Sorry, not sorry. Bobby Knight says, the key is not the will to win. Everybody has that. It is the will to prepare to win that's important. And I love that quote, because it's like, oh, you just gotta have the passion, you just gotta have the why to help people. Well, no, everybody has that. Everybody has that will to win, that desire, that deep-seated why, but they don't all have the will to prepare to win. Okay, one more point, and then I'm gonna, well, I do want to share this quote that I saved from Jeff Hill a little while ago before I move on to number 5. He was, I think it was last year, it was right before the Elite 10 trip, and he commented this insight. I'm on the Elite 10 trip, or I guess it was on the Elite trip, and it's intriguing to watch, listen, and try to identify those characteristics that are either innate, learned, or developed that have led to this achievement. There is this one trait, a common theme or characteristic that quietly surfaces, that seems to burn within all of them, and it has been the same with every Elite 10 on every trip. That when they were willing to push through the tougher times, to work harder without excuse, knowing that that was part of the formula, this always comes without any chest pounding or self-proclamation. It just becomes evident. Surprise? No. But it's worth noting the observation that success does leave clues. I know it burns in many, many others as well. It goes back to one of my favorite quotes. The successful people are willing to do those things that the successful aren't willing to do. It is not that they like doing those things any more than the others, but they know they are critical to success. I love that, from Jeff Hill. And lastly, if you want to become an empowered leader, and if you want to empower leaders, you have to be empowering on social media. And I don't just mean, sharing your vulnerability and flaws. We talk a lot about that in Beachbody, and putting that stuff out there, and that is a huge part of it. But I want you to think about why. Your ultimate goal to inspire others is to get them to believe that they can do it. Because we say it all the time, success leaves clues, there's no secret sauce, there's no secret system, it's just the vials, but people don't really believe that, and it's just the God's honest truth. Like, how we do this, I mean, coaches here are like pretty much giving you their game plan to give you exactly what they do. My systems, I have shared them with every single member of my team, and every single member of my team that has used it, and that is a small fraction. That's just real. A small fraction will take what we've given to them and do it. It's not because it doesn't work, it's because they lack belief. And so all these trainings can be a little bit extraneous, honestly, because what you most need and what your coaches most need is belief. So if you are not posting in a way that instills belief, it doesn't matter. You can you can be like a superstar rock star retailer and recruiter, and you can just attract to you. But how do you get those people to actually do it if they don't believe they can do it too? So I want you to be careful about how you're putting yourself out there on social media. The glossy websites and the graphics and the glossy headshots and the amazing lifestyle. You've got to be so careful about that, because while that attracts, and you can get a crap ton of fans and followers and people who want it and maybe even purchase it and opt in, but unless they believe they're capable of it, they're not actually going to duplicate. And you might just have a whole bunch of fans. Awesome, good for you. But is that what you want? It's not what I want. I would rather have a little bit fewer people who actually do something because I have shown them that it's possible, and that not that that's just that it's possible, but that they believe that they're capable of it. And so when you're showing how real you are, and when people see your mistakes, Your typos, leave those typos up there. Your errors, like I tried to like correct a typo today and it failed me. And that's why that first post went away. But it gives people confidence that they can too. So you're trying so hard to be perfect and you're trying so hard to like look really good on social media and make it all like perfect. But that is the most detrimental thing you can do to your business. The more that you show the errors and the mishaps and the, you know, whatever, that's when people believe that, oh my gosh, well, she's a hot mess. I can do this too. So, your social media does need to communicate that people can trust you and that you're credible. So you do need to like say, you do need to obviously have some kind of disclaimer, or, you know, there has to be a recognition that you are somebody that's credible and trustworthy to follow. You've, you know, had experience and success with your, you know, fitness results or, you know, whatever. But at the same time, you have to make them feel that, hey, we're not so different. So I hope that was helpful. I can stay on for a minute if I and do some Q&A, but like I said, I don't want to like make these videos too long. Let me see, any questions that popped up that I see right now? I'll come in here. I'll go ahead and close this off and answer anything that I see. But I'm going to share more of my free group stuff with you probably over the next couple of days, because it's kind of a lot and it would be too much to put into one video. So I'll show you how to do free groups successfully, and I'm going to share with you why your free groups might suck. So many people say, I do free groups and they're not working. Well, I bet you I know why. So we're going to troubleshoot that. So I hope this was valuable. If you have any questions, please drop them below. I'd love to answer those for you. Have a great day.